right, sorry to cut that song short a little bit, but we are actually already in the game. Liaison, do you want to take over the intros for this one?
I can do that, but before I do, what'd you think of the song?
Oh, it's a very upbeat and happy song, but
Right? Quality?
I'm not sure what the lyrics.
Yeah, well, I'm
Implied.
talking about it's a feel good. It's just like you feel it. You just kind of like dance around. I don't know. Anyway, in the top left-hand corner, both these teams evened up 1-1 apiece. Both these players looking to put their team back in the lead here in this best of 5 series. For Prometheus Gaming, it's the green Protoss player, MannerzMan. And in the bottom left for Imperative Gaming, the pink Protoss, AeiS. Now, I don't, I'm going to ignore this text because I'm going to get really distracted and then like not end up actually talking about the game. But PvP on a huge map like Alter Team actually really interests me because of how like different I feel like it is from more kind of not conventional maps, but like to me it's like Alter Zim is like an outlier map. It's kind of like Alter Zim and Frost, and then like everything else, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense. I mean, Ultra Zeman's got this really weird base in your base, just because they want to, let you expand while you while you one base all in, huh?
Right, you one base all in off two bases. But no,
Oh.
I mean what's nice about it for especially for Protoss is how narrow that ramp is and how easy that is to defend. What ends up happening because this map is so big is a lot of PvPs, a lot of Protoss players end up going for Phoenixes just because it's again they're fast and they don't have to deal with all the terrain. So Phoenix play is pretty popular, but what you'll see a lot of the time too is like if someone tries to get out a quick Nexus, they can be pretty severely punished by their opponent if their opponent is doing a build that allows them to delve into more kind of aggressive waters. We're seeing both players go for double gas here. MannerzMan putting 2 probes on each gas, and AeiS is doing the same here. So pretty much identical builds coming out from the start.
I'm feeling a couple Blink Stalker builds coming out for these two players. This will allow them,
Think
but
so?
yeah, of course I think so. I think that since the ramp's just since it's just a one force field ramp, they'll be able to blink up and in with defensive approach and just photon overcharge until the aggressive player backs away. And we do have a Stalker coming out from MannerzMan, so oh.
Well, there's the start. I win.
Okay, you're gonna win for that one. But I still think MannerzMan's gonna go for a Blink build. And
Well,
against
Blink against
Phoenix,
Phoenix is not too bad because it allows you to position a little bit against those pesky little flyers. But the question is going to be honestly from Aces: is it actually going to be Phoenixes coming out right off the bat, especially since MannerzMan is going to see this Stargate, or is he looking to go for maybe an early Oracle, a quick Oracle for to try and get some damage and get some scouting information, or is he going to go in a different direction?
AeiS is actually... Oh, there's Stargate coming out from MannerzMan. Looks like we're going to see some Phoenix on Phoenix action. And AeiS actually skipped his Mothership core so he could get this Phoenix out as early as possible. And no early Zella, just Stalkers pretty much for defense. MannerzMan dropping down a second gateway. We'll look on the Structures tab. Yep, that would be the second one. So no second one coming out from AeiS, but an expansion is coming out. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that it's one of those situations where he's getting out a sentry here to just block the ramp just in case. This Phoenix is going to get some really nice scouting information for him. He's going to just send it across the map. He's got a probe out to build a proxy pylon if he needs it as well. Also really nice for scouting as well. But because he gets his Phoenix out earlier, he's going to get a pretty much a free flyover over his opponent's bases. That Phoenix is being chronoed out, and they do come out ridiculously fast when they're chronoed. But, oh, is he even going to be able to get the Mothership core? I don't think that there's any way to tell you the truth. But he's getting some real damage on it, not just shield damage. But is he going to lose the Phoenix? Oh, he gets it out. So, yeah, he pretty much sees everything and immediately restarts his own Phoenix production and builds a second Stargate. So he didn't want to commit to super heavy Phoenixes until he saw that he had basically sent his opponent into Phoenix play as well. Now, basically, all-out Phoenixes from AeiS. And we might see one of these really funky, just like 30 versus 30 Phoenix Wars at some point in this game, to tell you the truth.
Oh, we're going to have to keep an eye on that APM tab once these Phoenixes start coming out two at a time. Although MannerzMan not actually having a second Stargate is going to get overtaken on Phoenixes really, really quickly.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. The expansion a little bit earlier as well here from AeiS, so we'll see if he's able to really take advantage of that. 34 probes to 28, so he's got that going for him. Just a nice little advantage. He'll get slightly more income than his opponent. And again, I think double Phoenixes is going to be absolutely huge for him here. We see no really clear tech choice in any direction yet from MannerzMan outside of Phoenixes, but only one at a time. I mean, you can just lift off all the extraneous units and go Phoenix for Phoenix and pretty much just dominate a fight here for AeiS. He's going to go in right now. It's 4 Phoenixes against 3, and this is kind of what I was talking about. 3 Phoenixes are going to fall on the side of MannerzMan, and AeiS only loses 2. He's now got a pretty substantial Phoenix advantage, 3-1, and again, he's producing 2 at a time. The Twilight Council go down for MannerzMan.
Ooh, MannerzMan might be going into a more Blink Center build, or he might be going for Archons even, just so that those just can't be lifted by the Phoenix.
I think he might go for DTs, to tell you the truth. Because
I can see DTs working.
Knowing double Stargate must be the case here because of how many Phoenixes AeiS had. I wonder if he's saying to himself, hey, you probably don't actually have detection. But
does Manners actually know about the second Stargate?
Saved up here, so we'll see with that Twilight Council being done if that's what he's going to go for. But there is no detection for AeiS, so I guess we'll have to see how astute MannerzMan is here and if that is the direction he's going to go in.
Well, MannerzMan does not know about the second Stargate, and there's the Blink coming out, so I guess no DTs just yet. You never know, we might see some eventually, but the Forge is starting to come down, so those upgrades are going to start being pumped out, and it's going to be a little awkward here. AeiS is going to have a lot of Phoenix. He's going to be able to lift Stalkers pretty easily. He's up to a good 7 Phoenix right now.
There's the Dark Shrine.
There's the Dark Shrine. Oh, man. Going.
That's what I was talking about before, though, was he should have known earlier. He knows now because of how many Phoenixes there are that it must be double Stargate. But I was saying before, when he won that Phoenix battle, he had more Phoenixes because he was producing off Stargates. So if MannerzMan had known then, it was a little bit more subtle than it is now when you just throw like 9 Phoenixes into your face. But I think this is a really smart play here coming out from MannerzMan to try and get himself back into the game with the Fleet Beacon coming down. We're seeing a huge commitment to air here from AeiS.
Fleet Beacon pretty much just for both air upgrades and the +2 range upgrades for Phoenix, and a Robo coming down, you know, just in case. But AeiS did not see the Dark Shrine, so DTs can still take AeiS little... Oop, didn't even see the natural there. These DTs could take him a little off guard and do a terrible, terrible amount of damage.
Yeah, AeiS is in, well, he's got a pretty nice worker advantage. He's got a pretty nice supply advantage. But again, yeah, these DTs, he has no forward pylons, so any DTs that are warped in will take some time to trek across the map. We see 2 being warped in at the main, and they're going to make a, well, as quick a, path as they can. But now it's almost like he's missed his window. If he had a forward pylon, he'd be fine, but with this Forge coming down, maybe we're just going to see cannons in the middle line, and it's going to be really anticlimactic. But a couple of DTs can do some damage in a mineral line, even with a cannon there, if they're, if they so desire. So we'll have to see what they do get done. The third base almost finished here for AeiS, and one, should be starting relatively soon here for MannerzMan. But again, we're just seeing AeiS build off these slight advantages. Any hope I think MannerzMan has of making this well, I don't want to say a game. It's not like he's completely out of it. But oh, there's the Observer as well. I totally missed the Robo going down. But, yeah, so the DT's not going to do much, and AeiS, I think, in a really, really commanding position here.
1 second. I seem... There we go. Alright, sorry. I'm using a different mouse, and it seems to be keybinded to a bunch of different observer tools that I was not aware of. But anyway, so, third base coming down from AeiS. Those DTs got driven off pretty easily. That observer was out and about with the army as those DTs tried to bust up the ramp. So now we just have a lot of Phoenix flying around from AeiS. And the third base is trying to come up for MannerzMan. He is making a single cannon in his mineral line, which generally not enough to hold off this huge flock of Phoenix flying through the air.
Yeah, I mean, it's enough to be annoying. Like, they won't be able to stay around for too long, but all these probes basically rallying around. Oh, nice
Feedback.
feedback coming down. Does get a couple of Phoenixes.
Oh, the feedbacks are definitely a good way to be able to kill off Phoenix who just don't know how to lift yet.
Yeah, and
Oh.
Storm as well. It's finishing up relatively soon, but also not a bad option against Phoenixes because they are light units and they will go down pretty quickly. But again, going into the space around the back, killing more and more workers, and we just see this worker advantage. It's up to 20 here for AeiS, and he's got a 40 supply advantage. Just what can you do here? You've been on the back foot this entire time if you're MannerzMan. You try and think about, something motivational to keep you in this game, but it certainly has the look of it of Imperative Gaming taking a 2-1 lead here, wouldn't you think, Slicer?
Oh, the army supplies do tell that tale, but AeiS isn't really moving out right now. Oh, I say that, he starts to move out. But he does have a couple Void Rays here with a bunch, 3 Immortals. These 3 Immortals will be able to tear through these Blinkstalkers rather easily, and are a pretty good counter to Archons as well, taking extremely reduced damage from Archon's heavy attack, which is 28 to non-biological units.
Yeah, and these Stalkers blink aggressively to try and pick off these Phoenixes. They looks like they might get a couple, but yeah, there's another blink, and that's actually, he's pulling this army really out of position here, and he can march on forward if he chooses to with his main army. These Immortals, these Void Rays are just going to melt the army that MannerzMan has here. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty quick and painless, though, so at least MannerzMan won't have to suffer too much, but I think this fight should be pretty decisive with those Immortals there to kill the Stalkers.
Oh yes, if anything, those Phoenix can just lift the Stalkers, and his main army could focus down the Archons and just start picking things off while they were hovering in the air. So, I mean, AeiS has a really good lead right now. They can just pretty much push in and win. They're just evened up on the workers count, but 38 workers killed for AeiS with using those Phoenix. These Phoenix are just way more than paid for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. And yeah, even though the workers have evened out, which is certainly a credit to MannerzMan, actually really impressive. And he's getting an earlier 4th base, so if there's any way he can hold off this attack, then he might just be okay. But it's it's over 100 army supply to 60, and that DT is not gonna like what it sees here. Dies to, well, fake Colossi and a whole lot of Protoss here. And here comes the main engagement. A couple of units going down very quickly. The Nexus immediately being targeted. A Time Warp goes down to separate MannerzMan's army from AeiS's. The Nexus does fall. Storms go down, getting a pretty good chunk of this Protoss army. But even those fake Colossi, it seems, scaring away this the army of MannerzMan, and moving on forward is an 80, now 90 army supply for AeiS, 36 for MannerzMan. These probes dying as they come back down, misrally because of that Nexus, and this is just trying to hold the ramp. Desperately good pickoffs from the Phoenixes as well, but more and more units rallying across the map, and it just might be too little too late here from MannerzMan. It's 132 supply, 276, and well, knocking on the front door is AeiS. GG, well played, comes out from MannerzMan, and just like we thought,